Hello and welcome to episode 227, I do believe, of the TEW 2 Challenge Run. We are here for the Raw branded Fatal Attraction pay-per-view, the final stop for the red brand on the road to WrestleMania. The Raw Women's Championship is on the line in the main event, an Elimination Chamber match. Becky, Charlotte, Sonya, Naomi, Mackie and Frankie. Big E and Cesaro in a big match. If Cesaro wins, he's added to the World Title match at WrestleMania. I'm looking at last year's. It would have been Fastlane last year. And yeah, the show seemed sort of okay. But we'll hope we'll do one better tonight and have a banging show. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into said show. 76 rated match on the kickoff. Miz isn't allowed to get carried out. And he's in there with Sheamus, and Sheamus beats him in 11:39 with a Brogue Kick. 86 for Sheamus and a 74 for the Miz. Big dub for, well, not even that big of a dub, just a decently sized dub for Big Shame. And he points to the WrestleMania sign. He's like, fella, I wonder what I'm going to be doing at the show. He's going to be hoping to fight for a spot on the card. But he's got a big win here on the kickoff for the Fatal Attraction. Opening video is going over all the matches from tonight. We've got the main event, obviously, which is represented by Becky and Charlotte. Got Brock and Balor, got Gable and Bobby. Got the tag team match, Finn and Ridge versus the New Day. We've also got an episode of The Cutting Edge, of course. And we're going to jump straight into the action with that tag team match. The World Heavyweight Champion Finn Balor teaming with Ridge Holland against Intercontinental Champion Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. It's a 79, which is fine, considering Ridge Holland's in there. Probably should have been better, but I don't actually know what the penalised was. I guess just random, because they're telling me the announcing was shit, which, like, whatever. But Balor and Ridge win in 18:13. Balor pins Woods, apparently, with the coup de grace. Doesn't submit him with the Fujiwara armbar. 66 for Ridge, 92 for Finn, 93 for Woods, and a 90 for Kofi. Banging ratings all around, other than Ridge. But no, actually, even for Ridge, that's good. I think that's the best he's ever done. But like, obviously, he's just not in the 90s. That's just not where he's at the minute. And the World Heavyweight Champion cementing his place, and he's gonna chill until later on in the night, because his world might get turned upside down later on tonight if things don't go his way. Speaking of matches I knew weren't going to do too good, Warden defeats Cameron Grimes in 5 minutes with a powerbomb, because Cameron Grimes found Shane McMahon laid out in the back, and for some reason that pissed off Tyler Breeze, and he made him fight Warden here on the pay-per-view, just to give Warden a nice win on the show, and to build up Grimes more as the lovable loser, really. 66 for Grimes and a 62 for Warden. Not too shabby. It's just a nice filler match. Like I said, next segment. Banger! Rick Boogs has now been in an 85 rated match. Oh, I think another one. I think he's had another one as well on Raw, but he's now got an 85 rated pay-per-view match. Through none of his own doing. Because he scored a 54 to 90, 87, and 91 for Gable. Holy shit. But Gable and Otis, the Alpha Academy, do win. I don't actually know if Thatcher's back. I think Thatcher might be back at this point, but I'm sort of just enjoying the Gable and Otis pairing for the minute, so they can still freebird them. Desmond doesn't really get involved in the tag stuff. He's more sort of like he's basically like the hook of Alpha Academy. Stands in the back and then just kicks someone's ass whenever he feels like it. But they beat Shinsuke and Rick Boogs in 14:45. Gable pins Boogs with the Chaos Theory to make defense number 6 of the Raw Tag Team Championships. I've been over the ratings. Gable's getting a 91 now. I remember when this team first started, Otis was outscoring Gable, but not anymore. Gable's rocking and rolling. And then get a quick backstage segment of Big E in his locker room preparing for the match up next against Cesaro. When Finn comes in, and Big E obviously gets all tense and ready to fight, and he's like, listen E, I don't want to cause no harm. I'm actually here to wish you good luck, because I know that You and I, we don't see eye to eye. You feel like you've got to rip this championship from me because I've betrayed your brothers and I've stabbed your brothers and I've beaten up your brothers. Well, that may be true, E. But think about it this way. You want to get your hands on me, right? And you want to take the championship from me. That's why it has to stay one-on-one at WrestleMania, E. You know, you can hate me all you want, but you know I'm right. If Cesaro's in that match, it's bad for me, it's bad for you, it's bad for WrestleMania as a whole. So I'm actually pulling for you in this match up next. Because we cannot let Cesaro in. For your sake and for my sake. And even for Cesaro's sake, because if he's in that match, he's going to finally think he's got that one chance to sniff the title that he's never been able to hold. And I'm going to have to break his heart. So for every one of us, Big E, do the right thing. And put him down tonight. And he's like, I plan on winning and keeping this as a singles match, Finn. But it won't be because you've told me to. It'll be because I earned the right to do so. The match happens. It gets a 78. Why did this do so shit? Poor announcing. Fuck you. But obviously Cesaro wins by pinfall because of a botched interference by Finn Balor. Finn, he's out there on commentary, I imagine. Maybe not the whole match, maybe just like for towards the back end. He tries to get involved, accidentally hits Big E, and Cesaro hits him with a neutralizer, or rolls him up actually, probably. 1, 2, 3. Cesaro pins Big E, 1928. I mean, I'll have a triple threat match on our hands at WrestleMania. Finn Balor will defend the World Heavyweight Championship against both the Royal Rumble Big E. Whatever I just said. It wasn't Royal Rumble winner. That's what I meant to say. As well as Cesaro. In a triple threat match. What the fuck? Of all of the matches for be the first to break the blue rating, it wasn't fucking no wait, because the tag match shit as well. Never mind. I was gonna say it wasn't Big E and Cesaro. It was this Kyle O'Reilly versus LA Knight. O'Reilly picks up the win in 12:36. He's out there, of course, by himself because he told Cole and Fish and Strong that he wanted to go out there by himself because that's the whole thing. LA Knight has been slagging off everyone in the UE. He said that Cole needed Fish and O'Reilly and Strong to back him up and that Kyle was nothing more than a lackey. And Kyle proved LA Knight wrong tonight by getting this win by himself. And then obviously when he's celebrating, out come the rest of the UE, like, yeah, you did it. We can finally celebrate, Kyle. You did a good job. You proved everyone right. Bobby gives him a big hug. He's like, yeah, Kyle, you're sick. Cole gives him a big fist pump. He's like, yeah, sup, bud. And Roddy gives him a wave. He's like, oh, yeah, hello. Yeah, you did great. And then we get the Undisputed Era posing in the ring. UE, hand signals. Shock the system. We're all back on top. We get the Adam Cole super kick to Kyle O'Reilly. And obviously Fish and Strong, they don't know what to do. Because, like, do they want to attack Cole? Or do they want to stick up for Cole? And they're just conflicted. They just sit there and just stare in absolute shock. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And Cole just stares down at Kyle O'Reilly. And stares back at Fish and Strong. Before just leaving the ring and walking to the back. And then O'Reilly's laid out, obviously, and Strong and Fish are in the ring looking at Kyle and then looking back up at the ramp at Cole like, well, what the fuck do we do here? Ha! I'll take this. The singles debut of Olympic gold medalist Gable Steveson against Bobby Lashley at Fatal Attraction. Lashley ends up winning. Because because of their pop, I couldn't justify Gable beating him. Because he's like brand new and Lashley's a major star. So we're going to do some MVP shenanigans, hits him with the cane or some shit. Then spear, Lashley upsets the gold medalist. Well, not as in terms of like a upset victory, just like makes him upset by beating him on his debut. And lays out the gold medalist on his debut match. Well, he's in the Rumble, but debut singles match doesn't end the way that Stevenson wanted it. And then Lashley celebrating, he looks down at him and Stevenson starts to stir. And MVP points at him with the cane. He went, "We told him back at the Rumble, almighty Bobby Lashley. We told him what was going to happen to him. We ain't done here. Pick him up, put him in the Hurt Lock." He picks up Gable, puts him in the Hurt Lock. That outcomes Brock Lesnar because his match is up next. And he makes his way to the ring, and Lashley sort of does the thing where he like tosses Gable to the floor, and like he's ready to fight Brock Lesnar. And then him and Lashley get into the ring. They have a fight, exchange fists, and when it looks like Lashley's going to get on top of him, bang! Gable drops him with a low blow from behind, allowing Lesnar to pick up Lashley and hit him with an F5, and Lashley rolls out of the ring. And Gable's again like, "Huh, see? I helped you, Brock." And Brock's like, "Get out of my ring, kid. My match is next." And Gable's like, "Okay, buddy, I thought we were friends." And Brock's like, "I don't have friends. Go away." And then Walter comes out for that match. Walter versus Brock Lesnar. 77. That's disappointing. Lack of psychology, not enough selling, better announcing, okay. Apparently 15 minutes was too long for a wild brawl between these two. But it's hard hitting, of course it is. It's a stiff as fuck match. But in the end, Brock Lesnar can eke out the victory with the F5. I imagine in my head he plants Waller with the F5. He does that big thump onto the canvas, like bounces a little when he lands. So it looks emphatic. And Brock Lesnar manages to eke out a victory. So Gable may have lost, but Lesnar got the win. And yeah, Waller can hang his head high. He took the fight to the beast tonight. And when Brock Lesnar goes to leave, Waller sort of does that thing where he sits in the middle of the ring just staring up at the ramp at Lesnar like, "This isn't done here. Waller wants another shot at the beast." The Cutting Edge. And this is the first time I've seen Edge since he explained his actions, because he wasn't on this week's Raw. So the last time we saw him was that big long promo where he was explaining his actions about attacking Drew McIntyre. And he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cutting Edge. I don't want to be out here. I don't feel like I need to be out here to these people in New England doing a damn talk show this close to WrestleMania, but apparently they want Edge on the show. I mean, I don't blame them, but I've had to scratch and claw to find something to talk about because I don't owe you any more of an explanation. I gave that to you 2 weeks ago. You don't. There's nothing else I've got to say on the matter. Drew McIntyre is gone, and I'm going to create my moment. Cesaro got in that triple threat match. Congratulations to him and Big E and Finn Balor. But whoever wins that WrestleMania, I'm coming to make my championship back. But now enough about me. Please welcome my guest, my best friend in the entire world, Christian. We haven't seen Christian since SummerSlam, I don't think. He's been around, but I just haven't been using him because, like, he's part-time and I didn't really have anything for him to do. But he's back here. He's like, "First of all, Adam, thanks for having me on the show." And wait, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I heard that you're doing Cutting Edge and you wanted me on the show at the pay-per-view, I thought, wow, what a great chance to come back and to have fun and great times with my best friend. But I can't do that because, don't get me wrong, you're my best. We will always be best friends till the day we die. We will be best friends, but I don't like what you've become, Adam. Because sure, you're right, this was Edge, this was the Ultimate Opportunist, this was the Rated R Superstar, this was what you did. But I thought that was your way of making it, and that you had more integrity, that you had all these years off, that you'd grown, you realised that you had to come back. That wasn't what you wanted to be anymore. Turns out, even the best friends keep dark secrets from each other, and this whole time, you still wanted to be that ultimate opportunist, be that scumbag that you used to be. And I can't stand back and watch my best friend go insane over something that isn't even... I mean, what are you, angry at Drew McIntyre for winning the Royal Rumble? Let me tell you this, that moment in that match 2 years ago, when you came back, you defied odds and retired. That moment is timeless. You didn't need... Nobody even remember... They remember McIntyre's win because it was a great moment for him. But they see them as two separate entities. You've got your return. That is one of the greatest moments in the history of this company. And if I do say so myself, you're throwing that away by doing this. Just let it go, man. And Edge sort of just sits there and he thinks. He like sort of listens to what Christian's saying. He's like, Jay, he's like, you're right, man. We will be our best friends. We will be best friends for our entire lives. But you don't get it. Let me get it. No. You say I had my moment. Let's look who's talking in the mirror. Your return last year. Why are you back in WWE, Jay? It's because of me. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me. So even you tried to steal my moment. You saw I had my moment. You thought, I've got to get me one of those. You thought Edge was struggling last year when he was attacked by Kevin Owens. No. I could do that without you, but you had to get your moment in. Because here's the thing. There's an Edge, there's a Christian, there's an Edge and Christian. Edge and Christian, we had our moments. Edge, he's getting his moments now, and you are jealous that I'm getting these moments, Jay. Just admit it. And now, I've got my moment. I've got my chance to create my defining moments. But here you are again, trying to make it about yourself. You want a moment? I'll give you a moment. Bang! He twats Christian with a low blow in the balls. Where else would we give him a low blow? And Christian just squats down and holds his bollocks in pain. And it sort of does that thing where he sort of hugs him and is hugging him and telling him, you're my best friend, I love you. But he places his chair down and he lays Christian on top of the chair and he goes to get another chair. He's like, it didn't have to be this way, Jay. It didn't have to be this way. He hoists the chair above his head, and then just as he goes down to swing for the concerto, out from the back storms Drew McIntyre. And Edge's attention suddenly changes to Drew. He swings the chair at Drew, he ducks it, bounces off the ropes, bang, drops Edge with a claymore, and kips up, and the crowd goes wild. And Edge rolls out of the ring, and holding his jaw, trying to recover, while Christian is getting to his feet. Drew sort of helps Christian to his feet. He's like, you okay, man? And then Edge sort of gets to his feet on the outside and just glares at Drew on the outside. He's got the sword in his hand, and he points the sword at Edge. He's like, And then he stops, and then he moves his hand to the back, and he points the sword at the WrestleMania sign hanging up behind him. And just stares a hole through Edge as the music plays and the segment ends, as Drew doesn't move his hand back. The hand's pointed back at WrestleMania the whole time. The sword pointing at the WrestleMania sign. So I think the intentions from Drew McIntyre are rather clear here tonight.
We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights for the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high for the glory.
Triple H is here. Not physically here. It's like a video. It's like, I understand that the pay-per-view is going great tonight. He's like, yo, what am I up to? Don't mind me. It's just, I've heard that Shane McMahon, again, he's not going to be back on Raw on Monday, so just finishing up this list of things that I want to see changed around here, and tomorrow night is going to be the start of something completely new, something you've never seen before, a moment that you'll remember for the rest of your life. I'll tell you all about it on Monday. Thank fuck Becky didn't get seriously injured. I know she had the broken ribs, but the way she's going, I expected her to fucking break her leg in this match. The game is absolutely trying to have her limping into WrestleMania, but she's only out for 15 days with the broken rib. Well, not even out, working through them. But the Chamber's up next, and as we know, the first two people in the Chamber will be Becky and Charlotte, because they were the ones who got pinned. Sonya and Frankie won, so they're 5 and 6, and Becky and Charlotte are 1 and 2. Which means Naomi and Mackie are 3 and 4. So Charlotte and Becky start, you get your standard Charlotte and Becky smack talk, and your standard Charlotte and Becky, 4 minutes of wrestling. Well, obviously no one gets eliminated in that time. Then number 3 comes in, it's Naomi. She charges out of her pod, does some cool shit, some springboards, maybe some dives maybe a big dive off the pod. And then out comes number 4, which is obviously Mackie. She runs wild, hit diving big head, and all sorts. And nothing else happens. Still no eliminations. Out comes Sonya in 5th, and she runs wild. She immediately goes after Mackie, takes her down, locks her in an armbar, and Mackie taps. She's the first elimination. Sonya gets rid of Mackie, and then Frankie comes out last, and they go at it a little bit more, but Frankie is the next one gone. Rear view from Naomi pins Frankie. They go at it for a couple more. Charlotte eliminates Naomi with natural selection, and then Charlotte's up when Sonya Deville rolls up Charlotte and pins her a couple of minutes later. So the final two are Becky and Sonya, and then Becky uses her big brain strats, some sort of big brain using of the Elimination Chamber to weaken Sonya down, and then pins her to retain the belt in an 81 rated match. 56 for Naomi, 63 for Mackie, 73 for Sonya, 74 for Frankie, 89 for Charlotte, and an 88 for Rebecca. And of course, Becky's won the match. She's so proud of what she's done, because everyone writ her off in this Elimination Chamber. Kaylee Ray comes out to celebrate with her, and she grabs the microphone. She's like, No. Let's talk about this, what we've just seen right here. You thought you could take my victory away from me. You thought putting me in this chamber would stop Big Brain Bex? No. You see, once I got announced for this match, I had the cogs turning in my big brain, because I had to try and find a way to, outsmart everybody yet again, because nobody can take this title off me, because I'm just the best. So you can bring 5 women that I've not beaten before in this title ring, because I've beaten Charlotte about 1,000,000 times. But you can't stop me. You lock them in a cell with me. They're trapped with me. And I'm going to WrestleMania. Big Brain Bex outsmart you all. And you can stay as angry as you want to stay. But at the end of the day, I'm still the Raw Women's Champion. And there's not a damn person on this brand who can take that.
This is my brutality!
Out comes Rhea Ripley. And obviously everyone can figure out, put their pieces together here. She saunters down to the ring. She gets in Becky's face. She has a microphone, but just sort of smiles at her, doesn't really say anything. And Becky just sort of glares at her. You can tell she's trying to look tough, but deep down she's kind of intimidated and worried about what might be said next. And Rhea's like, so nobody on Raw, you say, can take that championship off you, Becky. Which is funny, because you're out here bragging about beating all these women and how you've beaten everybody on Raw. I don't remember you beating me. You brag about beating me back at SummerSlam, but I didn't get pinned in that match. You've never pinned me. You've taken the escape. You've been ducking me. And there's a reason why. Because if you had faced me, you wouldn't be the Raw Women's Champion. You wouldn't have beaten anybody on Raw because I'd have taken the title off you. But the thing about that is, you can only run and hide from your nightmare for so long before it catches up and you get devoured by the shadows. And in winning the Royal Rumble, I've earned a shot at a Raw or SmackDown Women's Championship in the main event of one of the nights of WrestleMania. Becky, you know all about that. You've been to the main event of WrestleMania. Do you fancy going again? Big pop. And Becky's like, doesn't say anything. She just sort of still looks kind of worried. Clutches her title really close to her chest. And she's like, you can hold on to your child that you're calling her. I don't know how your real child will feel about that, but keep her. Because you've only got 35 more days to hold that title tight. Because she's coming home with me in Dallas. Me and you in the main event of night 1 of WrestleMania for that. Big pop. So the Raw side of WrestleMania is now set. Well, for the 2 world title matches. Big E, Balor and Cesaro is now a triple threat match, which will also take place on night 1 for the record. And in the main event of that show, Becky Lynch, Big Brain Bex, has been ducking and hiding for so long from Rhea Ripley. But they're going to go head to head for the title in the main event of WrestleMania. 85 pop is fine. I'm just glad nobody got injured in the thingy-ma-bobby, the chamber match. Match of the night was Kyle O'Reilly and LA Knight, actually, which is kind of cool. But what matters more than the 85 is what you thought of the show. So do let me know what you thought in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for 228, which will be No Way Out, the final pay-per-view from either brand before WrestleMania. See you then.